Coffeezila, who's incredible, by the way. A very thorough, good-hearted, smart guy, did a deep dive into this project that I attempted to make called Crypto.
Imagine walking into court thinking you've got the upper hand, only to have the judge slam the door shut right in your face. And that's exactly what happened to Logan Paul. His latest legal play against Coffeezila completely collapsed, and the fallout is brutal. Here's the wild part. Logan Paul wasn't just targeting Coffeezila directly. Nope, this time he tried to drag in Coffeezila's editor and graphic designer, hoping to rig up private communications that could twist the case in his favor. But instead of cracking Coffeezila, Logan ended up digging his own grave. So what's the deal here? Let me break it down. Back in August, Logan Paul filed a motion demanding access to behind-the-scenes conversations behind Coffeezila and his creative team. Why? Because Logan is still locked in a defamation lawsuit against the very man who exposed his failed NFT scheme, CryptoZoo. If you don't remember, CryptoZoo was hyped up as Logan Paul's biggest project ever, a flashy game where people could hatch, trade, and profit from bizarre animal NFTs. But when the dust settled, it turned out to be nothing but broken promises and lost fortunes.
What did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
I lost.
Victims reported losing tens of thousands of dollars. That's when Coffeezila stepped in. Known as YouTube's most relentless scam investigator, he dropped a bombshell expose. He interviewed victims, tracked the money, and laid out undeniable receipts showing that CryptoZoo was a disaster fueled by greed. Logan Paul panicked. Instead of owning up, he went on the attack, accusing Coffeezila of defamation, trying to paint him as a liar who twisted the truth.
Enforcement in the past, but his work was described as not anchored to truth and often speculative.
But here's the catch. In a defamation case, Logan has to prove Coffeezila knowingly spread false information, and the evidence, it just isn't there. So what did Logan do? He tried a different angle. By forcing Coffeezila's editors and graphic artists to hand over emails, chats, and project files, he hoped to uncover something, anything, that could undermine Coffeezila's reporting. But the court wasn't buying it. Coffeezila's team invoked journalist privilege, a legal shield that protects reporters and their collaborators from being forced to reveal sources or internal work. And the judge agreed. Logan's motion was flat out denied. Think about that. Logan Paul, a multi-millionaire with endless resources, just tried to bulldoze a YouTube journalist and his small creative team, and he lost.
Logan Paul has a right to communications between Coffeezila and his editor and his computer graphics artist. Here's what this fight is all about. On August 6th, Paul filed a motion to compel production of communications to and from Harry Bagg and or Ed Liszczynski. Bagg is Coffeezila's editor and Liszczynski is his computer graphics artist. More specifically, Paul says that he's trying to get communications between them relating to Coffeezila's statements that Paul says are defamatory. But Paul filed this motion because he says he's been trying to get these communications from them, but that Coffeezila is saying, not so fast, they're protected by the journalist privilege, so you don't have any right to them.
This isn't the first time he played dirty either. Earlier in the case, Logan Paul insisted Coffeezila appear in person for hearings instead of over Zoom. That wasn't about fairness, it was about harassment. It meant higher costs, wasted time, and unnecessary stress. Every move screams one thing. Logan is trying to weaponize money to silence criticism, but that is backfiring spectacularly. Each failed motion, each desperate play only adds to the narrative that Logan Paul is less of an entrepreneur and more of a bully who can't handle the truth.
Here, Paul argues first in his motion to compel that Coffeezila didn't put these communications with his editor and graphic artist on the privilege log. But Coffeezila says in his opposition, that's not true. I listed communications with my team in there. But now Paul says this isn't good enough. It's not enough detail, and therefore Coffeezila waived the entire privilege as to these communications. The judge ended up denying Logan Paul's motion. Here's what he said in an order that went over a number of other issues that have been pending before the court in this case. Based on the information in the motion, the arguments of counsel, and the parties' previous filings and negotiations on the matter, the court finds that plaintiff had has not established that in this instance, the interest of the party subpoenaing the information.
Here is where it gets more scarier for him. If Logan can prove defamation, Coffeezila could actually turn the tables. A counter lawsuit could slam Logan even harder, especially with the original CryptoZoo investors already breathing down his neck in separate legal battles. Basically, Logan's cornered. He's trying to distract everyone from the real issue, the millions lost in CryptoZoo, by throwing legal grenades at Coffeezila. But every grenade just keeps exploding in his own hands. Legal experts have already weighed in, calling this case a David versus Goliath fight. On one side, you have Coffeezila, an independent journalist relying on facts, evidence, and the voices of scammed victims. On the other side, Logan Paul, a celebrity powerhouse with endless cash trying to crush dissent. But the court just proved something crucial. Money doesn't automatically win, not when the truth is stacked against you. And that's what Logan fears the most. Because if Coffeezila stays on this trail, who knows what else might surface? Maybe CryptoZoo isn't the only shady blueprint Logan had up his sleeve. Maybe there are other skeletons waiting to be dragged out into the light. So why is Logan fighting so hard? Simple. Fear. Fear that Coffeezila will expose not just his past, but his future. Fear that the next scam, the next broken promise, will be dead on arrival the second Coffeezila starts asking questions. And here's the irony. The more Logan tries to silence Coffeezila, the louder Coffeezila's credibility becomes. Every blocked motion, every courtroom failure reinforces the same message. Logan Paul isn't a victim of false reporting. He's a man running from his own mess. At the end of the day, Logan thought he could buy his way out of accountability. But now, with judges shutting him down, lawsuits piling up, and public trust eroding, his empire of hype is starting to collapse. From CryptoZoo to this defamation circus, it's clear. Logan Paul built a trap for Coffeezila, but he's the one caught in it. And this time, no amount of money may be enough to set him free. Watch this video next, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.